It all started in this really quiet forest, where everything just sort of flowed. I want to tell you my story. You can call me Lynn, and back then, well, I was just a small branch, hanging out on this big, sprawling vine.
And that, right there, that was the whole problem. I mean, I could feel the sap moving through me, feel the sun on my bark. I was definitely alive, no question. But there was this constant whisper in my core asking, what's the point of all this? And I had no answer.
So I started to pay attention, really listen, instead of just feeling the breeze. And I started to hear things, ideas, from the other creatures in the forest. And boy, did they sound confident about how to live life the right way.
That was the first thing I heard, and it was booming, powerful, strength is everything. It just sounded so true. I looked at myself, just swaying there, and I thought, am I strong? And I gotta be honest, the answer didn't feel like a yes.
Then, right after that, I heard this little piece of advice. You have to stand on your own. Now that one really got me. Here I was, literally attached to this vine, getting everything from it. And I started to wonder, is that weakness? It really felt like I was missing the whole point.
And in a moment of what I can only call, leafy arrogance, I made my decision. If being strong meant standing on my own, then that's what I was gonna do. I gathered up all my will, and with this sharp little snap, I let go. I was free, or so I thought. My big quest had officially begun.
So off I went, looking for strength. And my journey led me to some pretty impressive teachers. I mean, these guys were powerful, they were sure of themselves. And as I was about to find out, they were all completely, spectacularly wrong for a little branch like me.
First up was Master Stone. He was just immense, ancient. He didn't move for anything, not the wind, not the rain, not even time. I asked him, teach me your strength, and his answer rumbled back, simple as can be unshaken.
And you know what? I tried. I really tried. I put all my focus into being stiff, resisting every little puff of wind. And I got pretty good at it. I was firm, unmoving. The only issue was, the moment a real gust came along, instead of swaying, I just felt this really worrying creak.
And that's when it hit me. My first big lesson. What I thought was unshakable strength was really just a fancy word for being brittle. By fighting everything, I was just setting myself up to snap in half. Not exactly the goal, right?
My next teacher was the total opposite, the dazzling Lady Flame. She was all energy and passion, just dancing and leaping. She was so alive. She offered a different kind of power, and her advice was impossible to ignore. Burn bright.
And wow, this felt like the real deal. I caught a spark from her and I just lit up. I was a beacon in the forest, bright, powerful, alive. It was amazing. But as I was glowing, I started to notice something a little alarming. I was getting smaller. I was literally burning myself up to create the light.
So, lesson number 2. Passion is incredible, for sure. But if it doesn't have a source, if there's nothing feeding it, you just burn out. You literally turn into ash.
My third and final master was the wind. Just wild, laughing, and totally free. The wind didn't belong to anyone or anything. The promise was freedom, pure and simple. Go anywhere, be anything. And I gotta say, for a little while, it was a blast. The wind scooped me up, and I saw the whole forest from above. I was tumbling and spinning and flying. I was going everywhere. The only problem was, I didn't know where I was going or why. I was completely, totally lost.
And that was the last lesson my masters taught me. It turns out that absolute freedom, it feels a whole lot like being homeless. When you can go anywhere, but you aren't connected to somewhere, it just means you don't belong anywhere at all.
And then it was over. The stone left me brittle. The fire left me charred. And the wind? Well, the wind just left me, dropped in a cold, damp pile of leaves. I wasn't strong or bright or free. I was just used up.
So I just lay there, a dry, withered little stick. And the only thing I could think was, why? Why, after trying so incredibly hard to live, did I feel more empty and dead than ever before? And it was right there, in that moment of total failure, when I had nothing left, that I finally saw it. Not with my eyes, but with something deeper. I saw the vine, the one I came from.
And it wasn't trying to be strong, it wasn't proving anything, it was just living.
And seeing it, the difference became so obvious. My entire quest was about becoming something else. A rock, a fire, the wind. I was trying so hard to prove myself. But the vine's way, it wasn't about becoming at all. It was about receiving. It was held by the earth. It was fed by the rain. It was just connected. It was being itself.
And it was like I heard a whisper from it, right into my core. You were never meant to become, it said. You were meant to receive. And just like that, everything made sense.
The journey back wasn't a big struggle. It wasn't another exhausting quest. It was just a quiet return. I just had to turn around.
And honestly, it was that easy. I just stopped. I stopped trying to be something I wasn't. I turned back to where I came from. I let myself reconnect. And then I just let life flow back in. I didn't have to earn it. It was just given.
And as that life started flow again, a tiny green leaf unfurled right from my tip. And I finally got it. This whole exhausting chase for strength was just me chasing a shadow. The real prize was life itself. And it had been waiting for me the whole time.
So I guess I'll just leave you with this question. We all try so hard to be strong, right? To be unshaken, to burn bright, to be free. But what if we've got it all backward? What if life isn't something you have to go out and achieve, but a gift just waiting for you to stop struggling and simply receive it?
Thank you for all of you who have followed this Sparks in a Dark Lenten journey. And I hope that this journey has been helpful for you as it has been helpful for me too. And especially the story of this little branch. I really able to identify with this so much, where I feel tempted to see what is outside my world and wondering if I could be something else, if actually that's better for me. So this is actually a story about me too. And as this little branch also had hard time to learn what is the real, true vine, and there is no life outside the branch. So me too, again, I'm invited to return again to the true vine, which is the love that God has. And that's the only way for us to be able to live the call that God has for us. Yes, we are often feel that there's more in life that we think than what we have right now, but the only way to be able to live the life that God has for now for us is not by doing it with our strength. We only can do it when we say yes to God, when we connect it to the vine. That the strength that we have is not from our own, but is the strength that comes from connecting with the vine. God is the one, Jesus is the one who gives us strength to be able to say yes and to be able to fulfill the life that God has for us. So if in your life right now you're tempted to run away or to go from the source of life, I invite you to come back. I invite you to return and know that you too realize that God and Jesus is on the only source of our life right now. And again, I would like to thank you for joining me for the Spark in a Dark Lenten journey. It's been so special for me, and I'm so happy that you've been able to journey together and coming back and returning back with me